What's going on, guys? It's your boy Cash, and we are here today in 7 Deadly Sins because I think it's about time to crush all of these. Oh my god, Escanor. I'm gonna teach you how to beat Escanor. I'm gonna teach you how to beat Escanor in a way that is so easy. It's ridiculous. I'm so confident that I have not even tried the strategy that I'm telling you, and I'm gonna try it and we'll see if it works. That is how confident I am that it's going to work. And it's all going to be starting off from this man, Thunderbolt Guardian GILTHUNDER. Now, before I go into what he does, you know, we should go really quick to Escanor, real quick, just because it kind of makes a little bit of sense. What is Escanor, right? He's a single target DPS of God, like DPS god, right? So this move fills up his ultimate move gauge. This one gives the ignite, and then I think, yeah, rank 2 it removes buffs, right? And then 2 ignite stats if he gets it to rank 3, and then the ult is pretty much death and super death if he doesn't decide to actually bring Merlin along. And then we also know that he removes debuffs and his own type of buffs when he has full ultimate moves, and then you cannot put any buffs on him, you can't put any debuffs on him. So pretty much there's no way that he can necessarily get stronger once he has his ult. It is what it is. So if it's a whaled out ult, it's a whaled out ult. Now, the reason why GILTHUNDER counters him pretty good, especially the red one, obviously the color advantage, and he is not affected by a lot of things that are currently in the meta. Now, this is not a buff. Taunts or whatever are not considered buff, they are considered stances. As you can see, there was nothing in his kit that cancels stances. He does remove buffs, however, but it doesn't remove a stance. So the stance that he has here is the taunt. And as you see, only when it's rank 3, it's for 2 turns, which is the better thing that you'd want. But even at turn 1, right? At rank 1, you can see here that he reduces damage taken by 30% and he does taunt for 1 turn. Everything that Escanor does is single target, so he would have to hit him. It's literally nothing he can do. Anyone on the team will also have to hit him. Another reason why I like GILTHUNDER in this position is because nothing that he has is an attack. His first skill 1 here, no matter at what rank, is a debuff ability, and it puts shock on everyone. So as you can see here, 30%. So if you do a lot of damage, when you do that move, then every turn it will do a decent amount of damage. But normally when you're using it on a tank, it's just gonna do forgettable damage pretty much. But it's the debuff synergy. Usually you're putting debuffs on everyone, and there's synergy with that. So there's that, right? And then he has his ult here, which is Rupture, which has really, it's not gonna really do too much if we're being honest here against Escanor. That's not really this. This is probably your sniping out if they have like a Arthur, and this would pretty much snipe them. It's gonna do double damage against buffed enemies. I think mine has 1 in it. Yes, mine's level 2, because I think that this ult is actually worth leveling because I think it's really good. Now, next is the passive, Diamond Holy Knight. And this is where we get into actually learning how to play the damn game. Increases resistance by 10% per ultimate move orb that he has. Once he gets it maxed out, it's an additional 50, rounding out obviously to about 100% resistance, right? Now, the cool thing about this is that we have to go in here and learn what the heck, because we have certain defensive stats, right? So you have crit resistance, you have crit defense, you also have regular resistance itself, and then you have defense itself. So there's a lot of things that we have to look at here, right? So first off, we're going to click on this magical thing, and we're going to see what resistance is, because that's really important, because that's what he gets for free. A fixed value which defends against a portion of damage. So let's say that you have 50% resistance, so 50% of that damage is not going to happen. It's a slight way of saying it, right? It's a little bit easier to say it, because obviously if he has 100% resistance, that would mean when he's full out, he's not going to take any damage, but he still will. He still will based on how much damage it has. It's a fixed value, as it said. It's not like a straight up 100% damage is not going to be taken. He gets that, and he also has defense, which is obviously everyone has that too. A value which decreases damage taken when attacked, right? Very cool stuff, right? You following with me? Then you have crit resistance, which decreases crit chance strike. Now, a lot of you guys are probably familiar with this because a lot of the bosses that are coming out right now have a lot of crit resistance, which is making Jericho like It's like, do I want to bring in Jericho? Can I bring in Jericho? Which was making a character like Death Pierce actually good, which I don't know. Didn't I say that he was? Yeah, but no one listens to me though. They don't need to listen to me. And then they actually have crit defense, where if you feel like you're going to be getting crit regardless, you just put crit defense just so you lower the amount of damage. And combined with the other things that we just talked about, there's a lot of way to mitigate damage. Now, HP is a defensive stat in my opinion, because if you have 1 million HP, and even as you see these people that they're celebrating doing 100k damage, right? 100k damage, oh my god, I did 100k. But if you had 1 million HP, then that would be regardless. 100k, you'd have to do that 10 times, and that's only usually they're doing that with the ult. It's gonna take forever for them to get through that character. That's like kind of the point of it. But HP, as you can see here on my guy, is a 4-piece set, right? 4-piece set to get the HP. Now, defense here is a 2-piece set, and if you were to get a full thing of defense, probably mess around. I think resistance is in, let me see, let me go to change stats. I'll just click on these so you guys can see the options. So on the second slot, you can actually roll for resistance, defense, crit resistance, and crit defense. Now, as far as the whole meta of Escanor, right? One thing that we need to go look at, I gotta go back so I can sell it home. I'm hoping you guys are with me. I hope you guys are understanding what's going on here, because it's gonna make a lot of sense. It's all about countering this character. He's broken, he's overpowered. One thing that you need to see from his stats right here is that he has very low crit chance. He has 20% crit chance starting off the bat. Other characters have way higher than that. Other characters have higher plus passives that increase their crit. Estarossa, god dang it. Escanor does not have that. He's meant to just pretty do raw damage. That's pretty much what he's supposed to do. That's why he has, you know, the high base stats. His combat class standard is just higher than other people's because he just has raw stats. So he's gonna pretty much just do straight out damage, but you do not have to worry about him critting. So that's one thing that we don't have to worry about, right? So we don't need crit defense, we don't need crit resistance. So it just comes down to defense and resistance. Now, the whole thing with resistance, like I said, it's kind of like, it works a little bit weird, but as you can see here, I feel like since you can actually slot defense is a gear set, you can actually slot it up, then you might even want to be able to go the resistance on here or defense, whatever, either or in my personal opinion would be fine. And you would put that on GILTHUNDER, or it doesn't necessarily have to be GILTHUNDER, but the tank, whoever you're gonna do. Pretty much the strategy to beat out a character, a single target character, is to bring out a tank that will tank them. Even Guardian Griamore would do okay. It's just that his taunt comes from his ult, so it's a little bit slower, but he actually can just tank it out because he increases his defense related stats and he taunts for 4 turns, and then you can even make it even more defensive stats and 5 turns. So he would be good too if you were just looking for a character that just flat out counters him, right? But you would need a lot of backup power outside of that. Another really important thing to note here is that debuffs only go on characters when you do damage. So there's a thing that's called patience. You guys have probably seen this before. I actually learned that the hard way when I used to have my blue king try to go into the red demon and he wasn't geared properly. So he actually, what did I just click? Gother, stop it. Oh yeah, I have Gother. I have Gother, guys, hi. But even using him as an example, so if like this whole deplete ultimate move gauge won't happen if it's patience. You won't petrify also if it has patience. Helbram himself is countered by a really good tank. A really good taunter would counter Helbram as well. That's why, but Helbram obviously has ways to increase his damage, so he might actually peek through it. Even if it does 1 damage, the effect will go through. GILTHUNDER's skills and abilities, let's look at him, because he actually is, in my opinion, has some of the best animations in the game. He definitely has some of the best animation in the game, and I'm talking about even ult wise. He has like literally the best animations in the game. So look at this. This is the rank 3. Throw it up to the gods, and it comes down, does some damage. Same thing here with the armor. It's not a big flashy thing. It's very quick. Patience. So as you saw right there, if there was any type of debuff attached to his single target skill, it would do nothing. I wouldn't take a debuff. I would not take, it wouldn't remove my ultimate orbs. Nothing would happen. Here's the Lightning King. Look at this. Look at. I'm gone. Hold on. What is that? What kind of absurd BS is this guy doing? What? He has some of the longest ult animations in the game. Now this one was crazy too, because I was like, oh, what does he do with Gulia? And you know, you would always see the beginning part of it, right? You would always just see like a little bit of the beginning part, just this part, and then the lightning's coming from I don't know where. and then you actually watch the whole thing. It's like, what? Boom. Pop him up. Brilliant detonation. What? Like, what? He has some. Sorry. Like, you're not beating that out. You're just not. It's his stuff is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The most important part here is that now that I was thinking about this before, like I was just gearing him up so I can get his passive. I think I have his passive right now, right? So I was just giving him stuff. Health is actually irrelevant on him to a certain degree, right? It would be more important to just stack defense on him. So I would actually go 3 sets of defense and then maybe get resistance here to mitigate the amount of damage that I'm taking. And then, you know, here you would still go attack or something like that. And then here, I forgot which the ones come down here with HP. I think it's like lifesteal, regeneration. Good old Green King. He's such a great character. HP. So here you can just put your HP down here. All right. Now, if I was going with a team that like really hard counters him, it would be this team. Squiggo has a really good passive, if I can show it here, and a lot of the R units are where you would go for your passive. They really sell it out. So increases strength, attributes, allies, HP by 30%. So as you guys just said, having more HP, make them more survivability, make them more tanky, take them longer to actually die, right? And then you have red in here, and you'd have Arthur's passive as well, which is really good, which boosts up humans. GILTHUNDER is a human, so is Arthur. And GOTHER really here is for his rank up. It's just a really strong rank up, and he's red, so he'll do well in there. There are a couple other characters, like I said. You can also have Demon Meliodas in there to actually finish awesome stuff, because a lot of these characters here don't really do too much damage. If they have any type of healing, you might find yourself in some trouble. Hauser is another good one. Increases human allies basic stats by 8%, and the basic stats, if I'm not mistaken, are HP, defense, and attack. So he would be boosting those characters up for that. And another hidden gem, Greymaster Dreyfus. This is the red version. I think a lot of people usually like about the green, but this one increases the strength attributes allies by 60%. That is a lot of free ass defense, my friend, that you can get for just having him in the party. Now again, you can maybe switch these in. Maybe don't run GOTHER. Maybe you say don't run GOTHER, and then you want to have the free HP boost plus the free defense boost. That'd actually be kind of crazy. Or you can ixnay on Arthur. You know, there's a lot of different ways to run it, depending on what you have built up, but it's pretty much like a mono red. Another really good character to mention here is going to be Merlin. Merlin does have Ultanile, which is a very strong thing, but also most importantly, like I said, if your character does not take damage, they will not take a debuff. They will not get the Ultra Orbs removed or anything like that. So barrier actually is included into that. If you have a barrier, whether or not patience trigger or not, you will not take it. So it's really good to dodge petrifies. It's really good to dodge anything of that nature, really. Any type of debuff, ignite, defense down, any of that just won't happen on you at all. So it's really good for PvP. Obviously, a lot of the beastlies out there are not going to really care too much about that. Just to be transparent, I just need to be transparent with you guys. Red Merlin, her freeze and moves like this, Bonds Extort, will go through that. Like, they will still land. It's not an attack. So that patience only works with attack type of move. So you can have all the defense and all the other random good stuff in the world. You can literally she can just freeze and take it right off. Bond can still extort you. So just keep that in mind. Keep that super duper in mind that can still happen. That's it. So what I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna go, even though my characters aren't super leveled here, I'm not gonna use Twiggo. As you see, he's level 1. He doesn't have his passive active. So I'm just gonna go with something else, and we're gonna see if we can run into an Escanor, and see if I can tank him out a little bit. Oh, and I should have mentioned this as well. Elite versus normal. Remember, elite is where your gear actually makes more of an impact. So a lot of the stuff I think for GILTHUNDER would be better in geared, because then all of his nuances kind of work out. But I still only really play normal because I don't feel like dealing with the whales. So I'm gonna just make my own little team here. This is my other team that does really well, but let's switch it up. So boom, we're gonna boost the defense, taunt it out, and I can actually do this. I can actually do this, give him that. Bump him up. I could also have done a level 3 that would have removed all the buffs, right? Let's see if we can get patience. Remember, this is a level 50 GILTHUNDER. And his gear, I don't think is actually, you saw his gear. I don't think it's leveled up because I really don't use him that often. Pretty good. Higher stats would mitigate that by a lot. Would mitigate that by a super lot. Also, we have all this extort and all this other stuff. Now what's cool about here is, like, let's say if he had Hellbrum, Putting me over there. We tanked that. That's nothing. Ain't nothing to us. That was something to us. That was kind of concerning. Ew. But you get the idea. I'm gonna clean this up real quick. Close your eyes if you don't like to see slaughter. Ooh, plat 4. There he is. I was like, I'm pretty sure we can get one. Like, okay, here we go. It's 50. It's 50%. Level 50 GILTHUNDER. His gear's not crazy. This is ungeared, so hopefully that doesn't punish me. His thing is 55. So I think we still get a decent showcase of what I'm trying to do right here. And I did 6K and ignited me. I needed a pulse. This might be a bot, which is fine. Give him everything. I want to see, you know, I want him to attack into it pretty much and just see just the idea of it. I hope that I explained it well, but I think some people just like a visual thing. He might even try to break it. Still 4K. And see, even he's breaking through it. Well, the what's my called breaking through it. So he's gonna pretty much just do straight out damage, but you do not have to worry about him critting. So that's one thing that we don't have to worry about, right? See, he's still taking damage, like those little chip damages right there. He shouldn't be taking that. If you were to rush his ult, maybe I should try to do. I don't have a taunt now. I'm actually using him terribly right now. Though he is doing his job. He is distracting and doing all that nonsense for us while we sit there and pick apart the rest of the team. That strategy is still working, but I don't want him to take debuffs. I need him to be way 100% 2010 billion% tankier than what he is, because that will allow me to actually have him at a way higher health than he is right now. As you can see, he's not doing much damage, he's not tanking that much, he's still getting petrified and all that stuff. But you have to imagine, use your imagination of higher stats, more resistance, more defense, and when he actually has his ult gauge up, which I can't rush it because I'll just end up losing the match. He's about to get it if they don't kill him right now. Oh, they didn't. Nice. They didn't kill him. So now technically he's there. He's now once I use like one skill. Look at that damage. Now it's where I actually messed that up. I was supposed to buff GOTHER, and then GOTHER he would have killed. He would have killed GOTHER 100%. Oh well. I don't know how I'm gonna edit that, but I will still say that that is a successful experiment. The reason being is because most of the time, even with the GILTHUNDER that is completely not leveled, he's still 50. Most of the time you see Escanor doing about at least 10k damage. 10k damage. That one was 55. I'm not holding up to the standards of a 75 Escanor. Same way I'm not holding this GILTHUNDER up to being 75. But I think that you would see some surprising results if you were to raise him up. And I can only hope that someone else that has the resources to get him up there can prove my point. But hopefully you got some insight. You learned a little bit about the resistance defense kind of mechanic in the game, and that's the best thing I can do for you, because you know it takes a while to give it up. I would have raised him up and then did the video, but unfortunately I still have to raise up my own characters for other content. I would be even curious to see if he can even do well against red Escanor when he comes in as well. Like, he's just a really solid tank. You just rush his ult. His ult is pretty much a passive. You don't have to actually use it. Just use it as a passive that's currently in your cards. Hold it there as long as you need to. Tank out stuff, especially if you have the taunt up, and slowly take out the other characters one by one and get it done. Hopefully you guys found this information useful. If there's any other tips that you guys want to have in the comment section below, feel free to drop it down low. One thing that you don't have to drop down low, which makes absolutely no sense, is that every day at the casino is your lucky day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.